everyone. Welcome to this next episode of Horizon Europe to Go. Today, I'm here together with my colleagues Agnieszka and Matthew. Sorry for the pronunciation. They recommended me to say it very well. I don't know if I did it very well, but
Perfect.
They are also national contact points like me, respectively for Cluster 6 and Cluster 4. Today, they're here with me to discuss a very interesting topic, which is circular economy and everything that is around it in Horizon Europe. So let's start. Welcome.
Thank you.
We can start from the basics. Can you give us an idea of what circular economy is?
Yes, so I'll take that. So circular economy is exactly what the word says. So we're trying to get away from the concept of linear economy, which means we're trying to we get resources from the ground, resources that are limited in nature. We make products with them, we use them, and then we throw them away. And as we know, this is not sustainable. We want to try and make use of these products and materials as long as possible to keep them in the economy as long as possible. One thing that maybe is not so well known is that people always think of sustainability when thinking of circular economy, but actually it's much more than that. It's about competitiveness. Of course, the least resources we use, then the more competitive we are. But it's also about resilience, which is becoming increasingly important in the current geopolitical scenario. We don't want to depend on others for these very critical resources that are limited in nature.
Mm-hmm. And this sounds all great on paper, but maybe is everything also a bit still fuzzy. So are there actual metrics that we can refer to?
Actually, it's very concrete because with the competitiveness compass and clean industrial deal, the European Union set very clear ambition to become the global leader of circular economy and also to double the circularity rate in Europe. So this circularity rate is this metrics we are talking about. So how much circular our economy is, so how much of the materials and products we reuse instead of throwing them away. And this ambition is set to double this circularity rate to 24%, because right now it's around 12%. And there is right now the European Commission is working on the legal instrument which will make this step possible. It's called Circular Economy Act. It's due for adoption still this year, and it will set the single market for secondary materials, which is very important to reach this goal.
Still remains a bit fuzzy because you are talking about acts that are going to be implemented in the future. So how can the R&I community act today?
Yeah, I mean, what we're trying to do is actually a huge research and innovation challenge. It's not just something that you can implement by passing an act of law. So there is a lot of need for research and innovation. You need to come up, for example, just to mention a few advanced materials that are actually circular by design. So already when you design these materials, there is circularity inbuilt. You can think of automated systems to sort rubbish, for example, digital passport for products and so on. So it's really the list of technologies of research and innovation that you have to do is literally huge. So there is a lot to do for that community out there.
I would maybe add that it's very important for the applicants to be aware that they are part of the bigger picture. So often applicants, they ask themselves the question what they want to do in the project, but instead it would be good to ask yourself a question why Europe would like to pay for it. And especially in the context of collaborative projects, top-down approach, when the topic is defined, Europe will pay for solving their problems, actually, not for the very interesting project.
Mm-hmm. So where specifically should Horizon Europe applicants looking at and for? So can you give examples also about the teams within which the European Commission would like to see projects funded?
Yeah, so circular economy is very, very cross-thematic. So it's essentially across all the clusters of Pillar 2, for instance. What I can give as examples for my area, I'm responsible for industry. So at the moment, there's a very big focus on the energy-intensive industry. That's, for instance, the steel industry, the chemical industry, but also textiles, for instance. And there is really a lot of effort at the moment to increase that circularity for particular energy and the resource streams in the industry sector. Beyond that, for instance, advanced manufacturing, so factory automation. How can we use the waste of previous production to put them back in the production? The construction sector, demolition waste is a very big issue these days. How can we use part of that either in its, let's say, ground form or actually as components? And the materials, advanced materials, which I already mentioned earlier.
In cluster 6, for which I'm responsible, there are, I would say, 3 thematics. And if we take the example of textiles, there are 3 approaches which are followed by many topics. So first, how to make different materials, products easier to sort, to collect, and also to recycle or repair, reuse. And so here you have textiles, but also construction materials, but footwear and so on. And then the next aspect would be how to make this sorting and recycling scalable. So how to test this on the large scale on the region or municipality. And then the third approach would be to make our materials, including textiles, bio-based. So to use the side streams from agriculture, for example, to produce bio-based plastics, but also textiles and other materials. And for this bio-based part, there is not only cluster 6 topics, but also a dedicated partnership. It's called Circular Bio-Based Europe Joint Undertaking, and it's really focusing on funding innovation for bio-based industries in Europe.
And maybe can you clarify, therefore, all these topics are mainly in Pillar 2 of the Horizon Europe Work Programme, but not necessarily only on the 2 clusters that you are responsible for. So they are scattered a bit all around the programme. Okay.
Yes.
And what about the budget that is foreseen for?
Yeah, so we're now in the last 2 years of Horizon Europe. So I would say make use of these 2 years. There's a lot of opportunities out there. We are talking about more than 80 topics which will focus on circular economy. That will give origin to about 250 funded projects. So that's a huge amount. And the budget, we are talking in excess of 2 billion euros. That's about 20% of the overall remaining budget of Horizon Europe. 20% will be dedicated to circular economy. So that's not difficult.
Part of a large ambition also of the European Commission. And how does the applicants find out more about these specific topics?
So the topics, the text of each topic can be found in a work program. So there are many work programs to look into as it's cross-thematic, cross-cluster. But I think the easiest way would be to use our topic preview. So for the convenience of the applicants, we prepare topic preview, gathering all the topics related to circular economy. And we will include this in the comments to this episode. And there, applicants, they can find all the topics, find the links to the full text. And then it's important to read the topic very carefully, to ask us questions if you need some clarification. But also there are some materials from the European Commission, like the recording of the info days, where there is a Q&A session and some questions may be already answered.
Yeah, and maybe I take the opportunity to remind everyone watching today that Euresearch is here to support you free of charge, providing assistance also one-to-one. So don't hesitate to contact any of the 3 of us or anyone in the team that is responsible for the call you are interested in. So maybe one last question. What about finding partners? Because now you talked about how to find topics. But we would then, because most of these projects need to be consortia-based, you also need to find somebody to team up.
Yeah. And this is actually one of the most frequent questions we get. It's all about network at the end. And the first advice we give prospect applicants is really to try and leverage your existing network. You know, this is the network you already have trust in, so that's a big asset. So if you're in the research environment at university, talk with your peers. If you're in the private sector, talk potentially with your clients, your suppliers, and check whether any of them have already participated in previous Horizon Europe projects, or maybe they even intend already to participate in one of the topics you're also thinking about. These things don't come out until you discuss them. So that's the main first step. After that, there's many other opportunities. One of the most frequent ones is these partnering events, which are now very often online. There's one in April for the Circular Bio-Based Europe joint undertaking. You can create your profile and basically connect with other prospect applicants.
And maybe I would add here that it's important to look for the opportunities for pitching at this kind of events. So this is where you can present your organization, your project idea, and make yourself known, make your expertise known to others. So those are EU level events, but there are also some regional between different countries. And we will organize one in Switzerland, so for all interested in circular economy, where you will have the opportunity to pitch. And of course, it will be only Swiss level, so you can get only the core consortium, and then you will have to open it for the international dimension. But yeah, follow our web page of events, and registration will open soon.
Very good. I was checking quickly while you were talking if there were any comments or questions from the audience, but doesn't seem to be the case for today. So then we can conclude with the last call to action to the people listening.
Yeah, I would say circular economy is more relevant than ever, not only for sustainability, but also for resilience and competitiveness. So get there, get into those projects, and make use of the partnering events, particularly the one that we will be organizing. So check our events page.
Thanks a lot, Agnieszka and Matthew, for being here today. Thank you for listening. We will come back again, not anymore in 2 weeks' time, because there will be the Easter break. So the next appointment is on the 13th of April, always at 12:15. So stay tuned and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.